Welcome back to This Is Live, the Sunday talk show, here on the Arise News Channel. Still with me today are Professor Anthony Killer, Director, Commonwealth Institute of Advanced and Professional Studies, and Jide Ologun, Legal Practitioner and National Development Advocate. Now, last Thursday, President Bola Tinubu stood before lawmakers in the National Assembly to salute the courage of Nigerians in adversity. It was a message that called on Nigerians to reflect deeply, exhibit gratitude and undying determination to make their country a better place. The president paid tribute to Nigeria's long and often painful journey from military rule to democratic governance, and seized the opportunity to confer national honors on figures like Chief M.K. Abiola, his wife, Kudirat, Parfred Rewane, and Ken Saro-Wiwa, and others who fought for the rights and freedoms of their countrymen. And by doing so, he planted the seeds of present-day democratic experience. In the wake of those awards, public reaction has been mixed. Still on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who had quite an eventful week, this time directing that all ministries, departments, and agencies must begin to use the International Conference Center in Abuja, which has now been renamed after him as part of efforts to ensure the long-term sustainability of public access. At the time of the commissioning, the president commended the president of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, for what he called the minister's excellent work in transforming the city's infrastructure. The renaming of the edifice, which is considered a new national asset, has reignited the conversation about illegal acquisition and conversion of national assets to personal use by powerful persons in Nigeria. Now, joining me for more reactions to the national honors given to heroes of the June 12 struggle is one of his leading voices and a human rights activist, Omoyele Sowore. Omoyele Sowore is here. Well, the public knows you very well. Your reputation speaks for you. But let's start with the national honors list. Your name was not there. There were persons who said, Sowore should have been here. After all, as a students' union president, you were very active in that June 12 struggle. Even after leaving the University of Lagos, you were in the forefront of the struggle for the actualization of June 12. But your name was not there. They didn't think that you did anything. But you have been going around saying, if my name had been there, I would have rejected it. Which means that the Tinubu team, which means that they were intelligent enough to know that this is a contrarian personality who will not even like to be honored. But they've done it. They've done it. Your name is not there. Okay. You don't need it, you say. Okay. So what's the big issue? You've been on another station saying, I don't need it, I don't need it. Okay. But I think, as your brother, now maybe it would be a nice thing on your CV.
Well, I'm not trying to build my CV on the back of National Honor Award. I am not interested in a national award because I did not fight the struggle that I fought, and I continue to fight because I'm looking for an award. I did it because I want to be free. I want a country where people are free to pursue their desires and aspirations in life. I want a country where people can flourish, not a country where national awards are handed over to people to patronize them. But more importantly, which is a valuable contribution I can make to this, is that a national honor granted anyone is as good as the person honoring the person. And I do not believe some of these men are honorable people.
Okay. But I think it would be nice on the CV. Omoyele Sowore, ON, CON. It will be nice. A nice rank.
If it worked, then the country should be a great place because I remember there was a year that everybody that was a national award, I think it was under Obasanjo, or one of this PDP administration, were people of questionable character. So there are a lot of people who have all these national awards that you and I don't remember. I even heard that some people got national award some 12 years ago. They repeated the same award for them this time around.
Like Professor Bolaji Akinyemi.
Yes. So
he has CFR in 2011. They are giving him CFR again in 2025. So you are right on that score.
Maybe they should add a G in front of the CFR just for an upgrade. But I do not need a national award. I don't need it from the government, and I've never sought or asked for an award. Generally, I do not seek, ask, or accept awards. This is just my own personal preference.
Your personal opinion. If they give me, I will have accepted it. I've been Minister of State rank in this country.
Were you ever given an award?
Nobody has given me anything. No. Even my job as a journalist, I think I'm deserving of a national award. If they give me, I will take it. It will not.
It's not too late.
It will not reduce price.
Maybe for those people who got it 12 years ago and maybe they can give you one of it so that they can remain.
Okay, but generally,
yes.
Beyond you, what do you think of the national awards? The people who have been recognized? Because the symbolism of it is that President Tinubu tried to move the June 12 conversation forward. Some people were left out. They recognized some people. Yeah. To remind us of the symbolism of June 12, which I think is important.
Well, I think for some of us, June 12 is not just a symbolic gesture, and you will testify to this. I belong to the category of people who I didn't lose my life, but I did lose a lot. You know, as a student, expelled twice, you know, hounded everywhere, up until this day that I'm sitting in front of you. I don't have an NYSC certificate because we challenged Abacha. Where I served in Yola, Adamawa State. Finished my NYSC, I was about to receive the certificate. I was arrested by DSS, kept for 7 days. And that was the end of my career in the NYSC world. It was because of June 12. So, and for us, the struggle for democracy has not ended. So why are we awarding ourselves? I still have issues based on my struggle for democracy. As of 3 days ago in Ondo State, Akure, I was attacked by thugs sponsored by the governor of my state. I'm from Ondo State because I was protesting peacefully on the streets of Akure over June 12, because we had, in my view, a transition from military rule to civilian rule, but not for democracy yet. So maybe for those of us who are still fighting, award is not what we are looking for. We're looking for liberation. We're looking for fundamental shifts in our movement towards progress in the country, particularly democratic progress.
No, what is that fundamental shift about? Is it about the Abiola family saying, look, we need a constructive, real apology from General Ibrahim Babangida to the Abiola family, or the issue about money, you know, that is being owed the Abiola family, or some kind of, you know, general declaration by the Tinubu administration? What, in your view, is the specific thing
I think we must properly situate them contextually. People who are looking for closure might be in the Abiola family. And closure might mean that they want to see their father getting honored. They want to see some kind of closure in terms of how their father died. They might even need an inquiry. But for those of us who are still fighting for democracy, which didn't even start on June 12th, our struggle for democracy started as soon as I was a freshman at the University of Lagos, which, by the way, was the first time I met you because you were reviewing Odion Aken's book at the Faculty of Law. I was one of the students in those days I saw you. And that was the day we met you in person.
Yes.
For us, those who are seeking foreclosure, they're entitled to it. Those who are asking for debt repayment, they're entitled to it. And we had a meeting with Professor Shoyinka yesterday, and he did describe that this is thematic, the award. And he also described that the award for him might be a weapon. That is something he can hold and also throw it back at them if they deviate from his own standard that he expects of them. But for me, the struggle for democracy, the struggle for the betterment of this country is still on. I am not going to look back so that I don't turn to a pillar of salt.
Okay.
Yes.
But let me ask you.
Yes.
Let's do an assessment of that list. When you look at the list, what comes to you?
I've not.
Beyond your own personal...
No, I've not seen the list. Let me be honest.
No,
with you.
the list is in the public domain.
Yes, I just haven't seen it. I haven't read the list, but I want to make this clear. I don't want to diminish the people, some of the people I know who are on the list. I cannot, for instance, diminish Ayobe, who was a female that I was standing beside when we were doing 1 million man march in Yaba, and Abacha was doing 5 million. They were shooting at us directly. I can't diminish Falana, who's been my lawyer since 1992 at the University of Lagos when I was first expelled, without whom I may not have ever graduated from the university. Still my loyalty today. Pro bono, by the way. I cannot diminish the role of, I can't diminish Kudrat Abiola, Alex Ibru, and Wole Soyinka, for instance. But I am also entitled and at liberty to decide what I want and don't want in my life. And one of the things I want is liberty. One of the things I do not want is honor done to me by dishonorable people. And that's my position. So I haven't seen the list, but I know that there are a lot of people who embrace the list because for them, like you said, it looks good on their CV. For so many of them, it's validation of their own authenticity or the struggle they fought for. Some of them is just one of their partners remembering that they were together. And there are different levels of the struggle for June 12th. There were people who were in exile, there were people who were at home. We were like field people. And I've seen so many student leaders in those days who are complaining that they were not featured, or people complain on their behalf. That is why it came to my attention, because a lot of people kept mentioning my name. They were mentioning Dele Momodu, people like Olusegun Mayegun, who you and I know, very bright, vibrant, student leader of NANS in those days. They said his name was not there. I think Abakoba's name was not even there.
No.
They almost blinded Abakoba the day we did 5 million man march. Ujudu. I was not there. So there are a lot of names that are not there. But I'm just not the person who is interested in who is there and who is not there. I only address my own part of it for those who might be interested because my name was being bandied around as somebody who should have been there, that I don't need the award. I don't need the national award.
Okay, sure. Let me ask you. 2 years, midterm. We have been discussing midterm and all of that. People have been singing some characters. I've been saying, now our papa did be so, we no get another one. Now our papa be so. Monuments have been named after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm waiting for the day they will name Asurok after Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Some imbeciles who think that they have opportunity say that anything can be named after the president. They've even named the International Conference Center after the president, dancing and singing in a demonstration of obvious banality. So, but let's talk results. Do you think that in 2 years, President Tinubu has been able to transform this country? What do you think he needs to do going forward? I don't want you to speak as a partisan politician. Otherwise, they will reduce this conversation to, oh, Sowore, what do you want him to say? Speak as a Nigerian, as a citizen.
So I'm going to speak factually. and I'm also going to speak statistically.
Backed with empirical facts.
Yes.
You know this table.
Exactly.
It's about empirical facts.
So, my own way of judging the regime, metaphorically and empirically, should be looked at from the point of the Lagos-Calabar Highway that was promised to be 700 kilometers and will be done in whatever number of years it should have been done. And in 2 years, only had 30 kilometers completed to be commissioned. And if you look at the percentage of that, you can use that to judge every other thing that has been done in the country. And I want to address very quickly the issue of naming places after the president. I think that in itself is a sign of insecurity, that the people handling the regime or the regime itself is so unsure of itself, it had to be naming monuments after itself when there is nothing happening in the country. There is no reason why anybody who has done well for the country wouldn't wait for monuments to be named after them after they have left. But you know, you and I know this, and you mentioned it, that there's a level of imbecility involved. That's true. And what that means is that even other monuments that have been named after people in this country speaks to the fact that monuments are named after people who have contributed the least amount of progress to the country. And it's just done in a way that have no respect for the dignity of the people, respect for history, and respect for our existence. But, you know, when you look at it now, even Nigeria itself was a monument named after falsehood, Niger area, by a person without integrity, Flora Shaw. So, monument naming is not anything that anybody should worry about, but you made a fundamental statement about how these naming ceremonies come about. They come from a place of shallowness, and I dare say and repeat, imbecility.
Okay, so if they name Aso Rock after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu tomorrow, you are going to say it's imbecility?
Anybody can name anything they want after anybody. I've stated before, and I'll say it here today for Nigeria, if to become the president of this country, most of the places named after these former Nigerian leaders will be named after trees and probably rivers in Nigeria. We have plenty of them, because those ones deserve those places to be named after them. At least they are consistent and they contribute to our ecological balance than people who contribute nothing. Sometimes I get depressed when I'm driving on roads in Abuja and I see Buhari Road, Babangida Road, or Abacha Barrack. I just like wondering what is wrong with us. But here you have it. That's the map of imbecility.
Okay, Sowore, you've been in journalism for years, even as a student.
I've been everything. A little bit of everything.
No, I don't want to say you have been in everything. But
activist, journalist, politician,
yeah, you have also
entrepreneur,
your own quota to journalism.
Yes.
And we started this program today by celebrating Uncle Sam Amuka,
yes,
who is now 90. And we had one of our fathers, Aremo Olusegun Oshoba, celebrating. Just a shout out to Uncle Sam. No abuse him.
No, actually, I wanted to praise him for doing something unusual for me, even though I never met him. The first time I met Amuka was when he came all the way from Lagos to visit me at the DSS headquarters.
Oh,
yes.
Uncle Sam came to visit you?
Yes, with Nduka Biagben. They sent a delegation. I think they were trying to adopt me as a newspaper proprietor so that they can use that to convince Buhari to release me. And so I never knew him in person. I never knew he was that old. because I just heard about Uncle Sam, and he has
Sam
this,
has a young wife.
he has a young wife and he has a young look. So, but I appreciated the fact that he just came all the way, flew all the way from Lagos, sat there, and throughout our stay there, he didn't say a word. He just looked at me all throughout. There's this guy who was also there, the tall guy who was Buhari's, one of Buhari's cronies. He's late now. The man who used to have this bullet construction company, I forget his name now. He died during that, he died before Buhari even left power. So that one was it was bluster. Oh, you can't defeat the government. You can't, we just want to get you out of here. And when they were done, I said to them, look, he came all the way from Lagos to see me in detention, and you didn't bring my lawyer. Mistake. That was 2 weeks after I was detained. And that man said to me, he snapped his finger, I said, you will see. Of course, I spent 5 months instead of 2 weeks in detention. But it was to his credit that at his age, he found it necessary to fly to Lagos to come try to bail me out, even though that wasn't a successful outing. So please, a great shout out to Uncle Sam Amuka, right? And the fact that we were great consumers of news in our days. In fact, one of my jobs in the pro-democracy groups was to take press releases to Vanguard, Guardian, and other places. So I was moonlighting as a delivery guy for Beko and the CD in those days. So I never met him, but I met a lot of interesting people in the newsroom in those days. I actually quite never met you because your office was on top, and somebody would smuggle us into the newsroom because the Guardian was always surrounded by strange people from the DSS and the police. So again, my regards to him for what he has done for journalism in the country. And the fact that over the years, he kept, being dynamic in understanding how journalism was unfolding. He was one of the persons, I don't know whether it was his idea, but I would believe it was, to have started migrating from offline to online. And Vanguard had one of the best websites, and I thought there must be someone behind this that must have done that great job of transitioning Vanguard to online. In addition to Punch as well, did a fantastic job. So I'm sending my great regards to him as one of the doyens of journalism in the country. I never refer to myself as a journalist. I'm just a busybody who went into publishing.
President Tinubu already said busybodies and bystanders are welcome. So you have received a presidential imprimatur. So that's not a thing to apologize for. Thank you very much, Omoyele Sowore, for joining us on This Day Live, this Sunday talk show.